Hello, welcome back to Oracle DBA tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss about two important parameters called PCT free and PCT used. So let's rewind what we learned in our last video. We learned that we have something, let's say like on data stored in the data block like this. So when we have a table T and table T has and you can visualize that we have a block here, and once this block is filled, we are going to we're going to put in the next block. And for the sake of visualization, I'm just putting them, stack them together from left to right, and this is where my high water mark is here. Okay, and then and then I whenever I delete, data is going to be deleted from this block. And let's say if I delete some row which maybe affect this block also. So the question is, and then the next time I'm going to insert more rows, it can either be inserted in this existing row, or it can be inserted into the rows into the block that is after the high water mark. In that case, high water mark is going to shift towards right. And then we have another thing called free list. In free list, I'm going to keep track of blocks under high water mark which are used, which are the candidate for further insert. Okay, so now the question is, when, for example, we are inserting to this block, when this block is going to be a candidate for free list. Okay, and also, like if this is the block, then the block is going to look like this. We have some block overhead. This is called block overhead, and remaining space is for data. How much, if I want to, so if this is a this is a block, it's empty block, and up to how much capacity of the block I can insert. Okay, so essentially PCT free is a parameter that tells how much space should be reserved for future update. For example, if PCT free is 20 percentage, so that means what I'm going to do, in a new block, 20 percentage space in the block is left unused. So if it's a new block, and let's say assume that the block size is 8 kilobyte, and then I'm going to just make 1 kilobyte for the overhead. So that means I have 7 kilobyte remaining from my block. Okay, so 7 kilobytes 20 percentage is 1.4 kilobyte. So that means I'm going to leave 1.4 kilobyte empty, without unused. So if I'm going to do insert, and then I'm trying to insert to this block, I'm going to insert up to 5.7 KB minus 1.4, that is 5.6 kilobyte. So 5.6 kilobyte worth of data is going to be reside here in this block, and 1.4 kilobyte is remain empty. And after that, so if you look at this block, so this block is going to fill up to here. Okay, and after that, if I'm still inserting, then Oracle is going to allocate another block, and let's say that block is now, and then high water mark is going to shift, and the new block allocated is this, and now high water mark is pointing to this position. Again, another 5.6 kilobyte worth of data can insert can happen, and eventually this is going to filled, and then high water mark is going to shift again, and so on. So I hope you understand what is the importance of PCT free. And then remaining 1.20 percentage, that means 20 percentage free space should be reserved for further update. That means whenever you are going to do an update, in that case, so let's say for example you have a row here, that data is stored here, and you want to update, and if after the update you want more space, then those and then that space is going to be allocated from this 1.4 kilobyte. Okay, so now let's say right now we are doing, so this is block 1, this is completely filled, block 2 is filled, block 3 is filled, and then we started to delete now. Okay, let's say we are deleting from block 3. Okay, so as we delete, so we delete some more data, so therefore it's some more space is available. So as I told you, right, this block is again going to be eligible for insertion. Okay, another parameter called PCT used. So PCT used parameter, tells when this block will be candidate for further insert. Let's take an example of PCT use is 40%. So let's say this is a block 3 and we are now deleting from block 3, so therefore we are emptying of the space, right? So we are emptying of space, and then what this 40% is telling is that as you empty, like maybe the first time maybe you are emptying 2%, 3%, like that, right? So as you keep deleting, so you are emptying, and this block is still not a candidate for further insert. Okay, and it will be a candidate for further insert when 40% of this block is only used. That means we started at 5.6 kilobyte whenever this block is completely occupied. Then after we delete, this 5.6 kilobyte is going to, more space is going to be available. Let's say after a couple of deletes we have 5 kilobyte. Then the question is this block is ready for further insert? The answer is no, because 40% of 7 kilobyte is 2.8. So as and then whenever I'm going to delete more, the finally, like, if I keep deleting from this block, it will reach to a state where it is 2.8 kilobyte occupied. Okay, so when this thing 2.8 kilobyte occupied, or this block is 40% occupied. Okay, so let's delete some more. So basically right now, so this is 2.8 kilobyte or 40%. Then if we want to do insert, then this block we can insert to this block. Okay, so that means when we delete, Oracle will figure out how much, what is the PCT used parameter for that block, and if the PCT used parameter for that block 40%, when as we delete this area, will generate more free space or less used space. When the used space is going to drop below 2.8 kilobyte, then this block is going to be come to the free list. That means next time I'm going to do insert, I can use this block for insertion. So therefore this is the PCT free and PCT used concept. You can basically, depending on what kind of activity you are doing, let's say you are doing a lot of updates. If you are doing a lot of updates, then it is recommended to have a big PCT free. Okay, on the other hand, if you are not doing any update, okay, so if on a table, that's a master table, that master table is just it's very less likely for change. Okay, so whatever is going to happen, we are going to insert new rows. In that case, if you are going to have a PCT free which is 20% without any update, that means 1.4 kilobyte just going to be remain wasted forever, because this area will never be used by anybody else, and then it's just going to be remain for update, and then we are not going to do any update on that table as from our application point of view. Therefore this is a bad PCT free. You can just go for a PCT free for 1% or 2%. Okay, so this is what is all the things that you should learn about PCT free and PCT used. And then this is every table, like whenever you are creating the table, you have to give these parameters. This is called the storage parameters. You can give those two parameters.